Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today I titled this message, They Lied to You. They lied to you. And these are the individuals who came before you. Your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your aunts, your uncles. These individuals, including those cousins that are distant, these individuals are the ones who have the stories that your relatives, your parents, your siblings did not want to really get out. They didn't want to discuss. They were cautioned that if they tell this or tell that, they would be in some serious trouble. Folks are gone, deceased, and people still won't come clean. Let's start with health woes. The daddy didn't want to talk about his health problems. There were issues in his marriage, and he didn't want to admit to the fact that he has some sexual problems. Come on. There are those individuals, though, that come out of daddy, and then they turn out to have their share of problems. People like to associate their issues with, oh, well, it's that problem over there. It's not really what you think it is. The sex problems, well, we got to cover those up because that's my personal business. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dress really nice. I'm going to get the biggest car. I'm going to get the finest house. I'm going to blame all the women that I go through, like changing underwear. I'm going to blame all of them for my issues. The children will never detect that really what the problem is my sex problems, right? And those sex problems could be any number of things. It could be from child abuse to simply having some undeveloped organs to just simply not taking care of one's body because of heavy drug and alcohol use back in one's youth. Lots of things happen, including injuries playing sports. But that is a very private issue. And I've referred to this in other audio. It's a very private issue, and people are not going to come clean, even when they meet new people. And this is what's disturbing. Why would someone deceive people into believing that he or she is okay and all right down there? You could save yourself the embarrassment, save yourself the upset, because eventually somebody is not going to be satisfied and he or she just might end up moving on to someone else. You could save yourself a whole lot of grief if you just say, you know what, I got my own issues and I'd rather just deal with them by myself. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to deceive people. I'm not even going to be nowhere on the internet or elsewhere looking for folks because I know I can't take care of their needs. Some people, though, believe it or not, have been forward in that way. I remember years ago an individual who said there's nothing that I can do for a woman and there's nothing that a woman can do for me. And he wasn't saying it because he was scorned. He was saying it because he could not take care of his business in the bedroom. Okay. When people say some things in a roundabout kind of way, you have to connect the dots. You got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Sometimes they're exposing themselves because your light shows up and they start running off the mouth about some things. And then you hear, oh, I hear the truth. I hear the truth. And then, of course, when they pick up that you are listening very closely to what they're saying, they're going to cover it up and say, well, you know, that's other people. I mean, because I still got it going on or what have you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Some people have been repeatedly divorced and they have been through all sorts of surgeries and medicines, and still they are not pleasing their partners. I mean, God, Lord Jesus, he shows up in some interesting ways with his wisdom, with his knowledge, with his truth. He doesn't want us to be the type of people who go around telling a bunch of lies while saying that, oh, I'm a believer. There's another thing about these family members that have come before we have come along. They got secrets that disturb their legacy, disturb their relationship with others in the family. Dark secrets, disturbing secrets. We don't have to get into all the details because there's just way too many things that people cover up. But whatever the secret is that you may have found out or you have yet to know, the point is that sort of thing can keep people in bondage. And so while, once again, we're thinking it's this issue over here, it turns out that it's that secret that person's been keeping all those years. It's the secret that might have even put them in a grave. Once again, it could be a health-related issue, but then tied to something else, like a bad relationship with a partner. And let's talk about that too. There's those secrets when it comes to relationships within the family, where a relationship appears to be normal. It sounds like everything was okay from what this one and that one said, but then you find out that there's some twisted things going on, and that so-called relationship was nothing more than a scam. It was nothing but an open marriage, or it was never a marriage. Okay. And so as long as these secrets are lingering around, there are those individuals who walk around very ignorant. They are assuming things about one another. They're assuming things even about themselves that is not correct. If daddy would have been honest about his health woes, then maybe the son will go ahead and get himself taken care of, get checked out. If mama would have just went on and got her eating disorder put in check, then maybe the daughters won't keep making these excuses about why they're so fat. You see, this is how deep this thing goes. If I don't want to face the fact that there are some real issues that not only happens with me, but happened with those that came before me, and they didn't get any help. I didn't get any help. And now I'm bringing children along and they're not getting any help. There's going to be suffering, because you do know that God uses doctors. He uses counselors. He uses people that will even get very angry at us and say, you need to get that situation taken care of. Do you need me to find a doctor for you? Do you need me to drive you to the doctor? Do you need me to pick up a prescription for you? But you need to get that thing put in check. And see, whatever that thing is that somebody is grappling with, it is something that is no longer their issue, but it's affecting other people. Well, the selfish person will say, how is what I'm going through affecting other people? Because if you are that one that's communicating to others, but yet every now and again something a little bit quirky shows up, you're affecting other people. If you are that one who refuses to give information to children, grandchildren, to help them along, your issue, even though you didn't speak about it, your issue could very well be upon those children. And if that's an issue that's deadly, that's blood on your hands, because you didn't bother to speak. You knew the truth, but yet you didn't tell the children. God will convict our spirits, I'm telling you, on some serious issues. What about mental illness? Mental illness that showed up before we showed up. And the relative knew that she wasn't thinking right. He knew that he had some real deep, dark, disturbing types of things going on inside that mind of his. But you know what they do? They suppress things. As long as they can suppress them, they got the energy to suppress them, they're going to keep doing it. But then you get older and you can't suppress, Lord Jesus, those demons like you once did. You can't keep that mouth closed like you once did. When the thoughts come up, you can't dismiss them. Now things are showing up, and now people are ready to say, it's time to commit this one. You see, all those years, people carrying secrets about mental illness. So now I understand why a relative so-and-so was acting like a fool, because he was suffering with bipolar disorder. Well, why didn't they get him some help? Well, they said that they wasn't aware. They didn't know. Well, as he got older, they picked up on some things, and I'm sure the teachers did. So why still didn't they get any help? Because they didn't want to believe that there was something wrong with their son. You see, just giving an example. But this is the kind of thing that goes on with some of these folks. They refuse to deal with their mental illness. They had children, refuse to treat the child's mental illness. The child has children and treats the symptoms that are within his or her children in the same way that the parents did that came before him or her. You see how the generational curses, they stay alive and well with some people? You could be the one that the buck stops right here. I'm not going to be that person that's going to keep on dismissing what I know to be true. I know there's a secret with the family. I uncovered the secret, and now we're going to deal with that secret. Or mental illness was prevalent for generations. It's time for our generation to get checked out. Health problems. The mother had similar symptoms as the son. Or the son, I should say, had similar symptoms as the mother, or the daughter had similar symptoms as the father, or it could have been reversed, or what have you. So then we need to be doing something about that. Because you see, when these issues are not dealt with, they once again become other people's issues. And when they become other people's issues, not everybody is going to take too kindly to the secrets, to the mood swings that somebody might have, health ailments, mental trauma, drama. And so now you got family members that don't want to talk to each other. They don't want to go around each other and everything else because somebody had a monkey on their back and they wanted everybody to believe that they was okay and all right when that wasn't the case. If you were to run some of these symptoms or warning signs or whatever you want to call them that you have noticed with some of your family members with a professional, he or she, of course, is not going to come up with a prognosis right then and there because they would want to see their patient. But there may be some things that he or she would say that would help you deal, help you cope, or direct that person towards some care who has some of these troubling things going on with him or her. But I felt the need to want to share this message because I know some of you all, you have that family drama that shows up every now and again. And then somebody wants you to be quiet. Don't ask questions. Don't get into this conversation. Don't share this. Don't share that. But yet the monkey is still sitting there and nobody is getting anything done. And that's not the God that I serve. He moves on the believer's spirit to do something within his or her power. Okay. We're not talking about controlling people or abusing people or putting them in a cage or manipulating them or anything like that. But what we are talking about is bringing the truth to light and stop allowing people to shut your mouth, to threaten you, to dangle a carrot over your head and never give it to you. Okay. So be empowered this day. Find out what exactly is going on with family members, with friends, whatever it is that's troubling you, give it over to the Lord. Ask the Lord for necessary resources and to order your steps in Jesus' name towards some help. There's no reason why the father, then the son, then the son's son are still suffering with the same issue. Okay. When there are those treatments out there that could at least curb some of them symptoms or just simply cure them. I mean, we're not going to say that God, oh, well, he's not going to heal and he's not going to do this, that, and the other, because you never know what God is going to do. That's why some people need to get to the church like yesterday and get around the saints for them to pray for you. Okay. And who knows, you might be delivered and won't have to go to the doctors. But anyway, that is it for today. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. If you would like to check the description box for ways to give, that's where they are. And I appreciate those in advance who are giving and those who have given in the past. Blessings to you.